What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 312 of Opinions May Vary. I am your host, JR, my co-host with me, Alex.
Hello.
Joining us this week is the humble guest, the humble listener. That's what I meant to say. As you are our guest this week, the person whose ears are consuming this, because there's no one.
Yeah.
It's the two of us.
So judge this.
Just play the Will Smith song now. Just the two of us.
It's a Will Smith song?
Yeah, right?
I
Is his
didn't know
name Will Smith? For a second, I was like, it was Will Smith, right? I literally heard the song just the other day. I don't remember where.
Is it a remake?
Maybe. I don't know. I just remember it being big on TRL because his son was in the song. And that line, I will touch that butt when you cut out a line. It's just maybe not the
That's weird.
hindsight, you know?
Yeah.
Hindsight really hits you. But I Am Legend was dope. I was thinking about that movie today. You ever see I Am Legend?
You know, parts of it.
This is the I Am Legend special.
I never got all the way through it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I love the first hour of that movie.
Because I'd never watched it in a theater or on a DVD or Blu or anything. It just kind of showed up on TV sometimes. And there's commercials.
Yeah,
And I
it
have to
just
wait.
kills you.
And I just don't have the kind of time.
I saw it in IMAX for free for $0.
Oh.
Because back when I used to work in a store in a mall,
Mhm.
the movie theater a block away would just give us free passes to advanced screenings.
Was it also the 3D version? Or?
No,
Oh.
I hate 3D. I did not see it in 3D, but it was back when, because there were signs out front. I think I've told this story a bunch of times, but it's still a neat story. There were signs out front, and it was if you go to see I Am Legend, you're not going to get a refund. And normally that would be wow, is the movie that? It's because the Dark Knight trailer was in I Am Legend. So people were buying tickets to see I Am Legend, going to see the Dark Knight trailer, leaving and returning, getting a refund because they didn't care about seeing the movie. They just wanted to see the trailer.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yep.
I'm glad. You don't always have to remind me that I hate people,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. The good old days.
but that's one of them.
Yeah. Remember when the Dark Knight hadn't happened yet?
Buy a ticket to see the trailer,
Yeah.
and then be like, all right, I'm good.
And then return it. And they were like, yeah, we're going to shut this down.
That is such a waste.
Yeah. I'm 90% sure that was the movie.
Just the effort it would take to go to the theater for a 2-minute trailer and then leave. That's not worth any. Nope.
It's just not only is it just,
Even the
Shitty.
hassle of having to return your ticket.
but
What's your reason? How come you're returning this ticket? Oh, because
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit.
yeah.
Is why really.
Just,
That's-
it's not a terrible movie. I guess purists who have actually read the actual book, who know what it is. It's like how I love Constantine, because I never really read Constantine. I thought I Am Legend was. It's tough being.
Have you read the book I Am Legend?
No, nope.
Neither have I.
Sold a lot of it because I worked at a bookstore at the time.
It was explained to me because I was like, why is this such a thing?
Right.
And I could should I give it away? Unless people haven't.
I Am Legend spoilers
Yeah.
incoming.
So Chris Ely had to explain it to me because he read it and he liked the premise of it. Basically, the main character who's still human, and goes into hiding to hide.
Robert
from,
Neville.
Yeah, to hide from all the vampires. And the vampires basically kill everyone and take over.
Right.
And, move into the houses and just construct their own lives. And they're not really quite the same savages that you see in the movie. But Neville has to keep trying to exist, and he keeps fighting back. And so this new population that moves into the houses and live like a community, he's trying to pick them off to get rid of them.
He's the nuisance.
He becomes the boogeyman.
Yeah.
And so he's what the parents warn their kids about.
Mm.
Because he's now the legend. That's why he's the legend.
Right.
And he's like this terrible creature that comes to get you in the night or whatever. And that's what they're afraid of, because he's like the leftover piece of the extinct evolution.
It was a really neat movie for me in that it made you think what would I do in that position? Because he was a survivor. He had his food stocks and
There's a book that tells you when the sun's going to go down for the next 5 years.
the Farmer's Almanac, and like he's setting up the mannequins and stuff. Just, that movie, a lot of parts of that movie like really scared me on like a psychological level. And then the dog died, which was just great stuff.
Didn't some film facts somewhere say that they were considering making the mannequin like respond to him and talk back?
Well, like I don't know about that, but I do know like there are. I tend to YouTube hop a lot at night, and I watch some really weird shit. And one of the videos I saw, like, it was, check out this stuff. And, when, like, he's driving along and he sees the mannequin out in the street and he's yelling at it and shit.
Yeah.
Like, if you watch, like, really closely,
it moves.
You can see the mannequin's head turn.
Yeah.
I don't know how legit it is, but, like, that scene where he's talking to the mannequin in the...
Well, did they have that clip in the video?
I don't know.
Damn it.
Like the clip of the mannequin head?
Yeah.
Yeah. They did show it.
Okay.
And it looks... Again, I don't remember ever seeing it move, but when I watched that video, it looked like it did. But then when he's talking to the girl mannequin, he's like, please say hello to me.
Yeah.
The whole time you're like, it's gonna do something. It's totally gonna do something, and then it doesn't. It just freaked me out. And then the dog died. Poor Sam.
What's the name of that website? Does the dog die?
I think it's called Does the Dog Die? Yeah, and you can look up movies and TV shows to see if the dog dies, which is pretty great because a lot of people like myself can't handle that. I had to skip Stranger Things when the cat died. There's a heads up on it, like on Twitter. They're like, yo, heads up, if you don't want to see this around this time in this episode, you can just fast forward. And we totally did. I don't have any interest in seeing that. I'll watch people die all day. I've been watching Hannibal like crazy. There was an episode of Hannibal where people were getting the skin on their backs cut off and then like strung up to make them look like angel wings. I'm cool with that.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Yep. But if you kill a dog, we're not down.
Did you know enough to skip the first episode of
House of Cards?
Yeah.
No. And that was even on one of the Cards Against Humanity cards.
Really?
When they did House of Cards Against Humanity. There it is. That's what it's called. One of the cards was like killing a dog just to prove a point or something like that. But I did not. That was it made it hard to keep going. I was like, oh, is that the type of show this is? I don't know if I want to keep watching this.
I showed it to my parents because I thought they would like it, and I forgot that was in the first episode.
Yep.
And they haven't bothered to pick it up again.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
But it is also funny snaps from my wife.
It's a good picture.
Anyways, we are not gonna keep talking about I Am Legend. We are 8 minutes in. We haven't even talked about. We're talking about really fun stuff this week. Really, we're kind of doing like an old school. We're talking news. So we'll revisit this in a year and see how wrong we were on everything.
I hope we'll be really right.
It would be nice.
I really hope that we
for one time.
Just super correct.
There is that Lost episode where I said that Suicide Squad is going to be the best DC movie ever made. It was a joking hot take, but luckily that episode will never see the light of day because I fucked it up.
Well,
if we're ever in a really big pinch, we have that episode that
we'd have to be like a month behind by that point.
But there has been some big news in the world of our stuff. We haven't really talked about news in a while, and someone got really rich.
Richer than they already are.
Richer than they already are.
Which is insulting. And it's shameful. I'm quite like...
So it's a big deal.
Yeah.
With Netflix.
It's like 7 figures big deal.
7 figures big deal with Netflix because Netflix has learned that superheroes make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
With all the Defenders stuff. I watched the first season of Daredevil and most of Luke Cage and 2 episodes of Jessica Jones and 2 or 3 episodes of Daredevil season 2 and none of Iron Fist.
That's okay.
So,
yeah.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep.
It's... we don't have to get into why Iron Fist was bad.
I feel like we already have.
It, there's a running theme of like Marvel rushing things too fast, instead of just like making sure it's done right.
Which is crazy because remember when Thanos appeared at the end of the first Avengers movie?
Yeah, 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, less than 10 years ago.
Well, Iron Man was 10 years ago.
Iron Man 1 was 10 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Which is insane in itself. Black Panther just came out.
Wait.
What?
How old was Robert Downey when he did first Iron Man?
Yeah.
And now he's 10 years older?
Yep. and 10 times richer.
Probably.
Oh, he's making.
Probably.
He makes insane money just off of like his regular movie deals.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's one of like the highest paid actors in Hollywood.
Didn't
in
he take a
general.
really good, like, instead of upfront pay, he took more back end pay,
Most likely.
which has
knows?
been insanely lucrative for him.
Yeah.
So, for a quick switch, I was listening to Nerdist podcast, and I kind of bounce around when I recognize names. Cause it's nice when I just pick an episode and it's like some comedian I never heard of.
Yeah.
Or like, there's a real good couple of there's a detective, retired detective who like Joe Kedna, I think, and he has like a detective show on A&E or whatever. And like those were really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But he talked to Arnold Schwarzenegger a couple of years ago, either as or after he was done being governor of California.
Right.
And like he was talking about like starting off in the biz and like deciding to be like, oh, this guy who won Mr. Olympia did a Hercules movie. That's pretty easy. I'll do that. And just decide that's what he's going to do. And then, he did that, did Conan vs. Terminator, and then was hanging out with these other movie makers and was like, I want to do a comedy. And the guy he talked to, I forgot his name now, one of the directors, like really, you'll know his name if you hear it. And the guy was like, you're the action guy. You're not doing comedy. But like, it was this weekend escape and they hung out for the weekend. And the guy came back and was like, hey, you're really funny. Let's do that comedy.
Let's do comedy. Was it Kindergarten Cop?
It was twins.
Right. Yep.
And so they were like, who should we get? It's like, let's get Danny DeVito. And so what happened was Schwarzenegger, DeVito, and the director took zero pay. Nothing.
Right.
But they took 30% back end.
Of course.
Which means like they're still getting paid for twins today.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the jokes that he says is like, I think at least me and Danny, if not the director also, is that like they've made more money off twins than off of any other movie they've ever done.
IMDb says it was directed by Ivan Reitman.
Yep. Him. Yep. So that's a name you'll hear, millions of times throughout comedy.
He produced Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to say the Ghostbusters guy, but I really wasn't 100% sure.
I mean, he produced it.
Yeah.
He also directed Kindergarten Cop
And so one of the
and
points
Ghostbusters too.
one of the points that Schwarzenegger was saying was that like, and when you're the star, you're the top name, like, and you're taking zero pay, then everyone else is making more money than you.
Right.
It's like everyone else is going to work harder. Because one of the, what was the other actor? One of the old guys. You talking to me? That guy.
Pesci?
No.
De Niro.
He has a statement of how like, should the star make twice as much as anyone else on set? So if the key grip, the best boy, the camera operator, it's like, should I make twice as much? All right, sure. Should I make 10 times as much? Well, maybe. Should I make 70 times as much as someone else on set? That's ridiculous. So, I'm going to get paid $9 million for this, and this guy's getting like maybe $3,000 for the entire job.
Right.
And so, and that was really neat sentiment, which kind of doesn't really happen that much anymore.
One could argue that someone typically doesn't see a movie just because of the key grip work.
True. Are there key grip Oscars?
I mean,
there's no stunt coordinator.
I'd like to think, like, if a movie wins Best Picture, does every single person who worked on that movie get an Oscar?
No.
Wouldn't it be cool if Keisha got an Oscar?
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
That would be great. But stunt actors don't get Oscars. There's not even a category for them.
Baloney.
Mm-hmm. We should talk about that sometime.
We really should talk about that.
I'll make a note.
Yeah. We could also touch on, didn't Andy Serkis push a while back for like CGI work and stuff?
Oh, mocap acting.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I thought I remembered seeing something like that where like he's like, I'm doing just as much acting as everyone else.
Right,
Like,
but it's
how
not seen as legitimate acting because
Yeah.
there's so much else that goes on. Yeah,
the
yeah,
dude can imitate a monkey like perfectly. Come on.
It was so weird seeing him in Black Panther being like huge.
He was in
He
Age of
looked
Ultron.
huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's where he lost his arm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But to go from like thinking like, oh, he's the same size as Gollum, obviously.
Right. Yeah, he was a big guy.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so Netflix.
yeah,
Um,
they shelled out some dough.
they made a tremendous mistake in buying.
These are opinions, and they may vary.
Sell your Netflix stock. It's not worth it anymore.
Oh, is that insider trading?
It's my prediction. They went to Rob Liefeld and decided to buy a bunch of his properties from him. They bought most of Extreme Studios,
Which was his thing back when Image started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like each creator that jumped from Marvel, like kind of did their own thing.
How many X's is Extreme spelled with?
I think just one.
Just the one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Surprising.
Shocking.
Shocking amount of restraint, but continue.
And they actually used the E.
It didn't start with an X.
It didn't start. I think Marvel cornered that
Yeah.
with Executionary Series and all the other Extinction Agenda and everything they had going.
X-Men.
Well, obviously. Where was my list? I'm looking for my list of like what properties they are.
One of them began with a C and it sounded stupid.
So Netflix got Extreme Universe Comics, 7-figure deal, and it gives them the rights to Brigade, Bloodstrike, Cybrid, Rejects, Bloodwolf, and Kaboom. Only 2 Bloods in there. Which was kind of like really humorous to me.
How old is the blood? Is it young?
God damn it.
So no,
I hate you.
it's not.
One of the things pointing out was that Youngblood, Supreme Glory, and Prophet were not part of the deal. So the other blood, aside from Bloodstrike and Bloodwolf, Youngblood was not included in the deal for some crazy reason. Even though what was interesting was just a couple weeks ago, you reminded me that the Brigade Kickstarter
I literally just pulled it up on
still
Kickstarter.
isn't a thing yet.
Yeah, and this is not. We already had our rage-filled episode. We're mad at Netflix for making bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
The Brigade Kickstarter, which launched when? I can't remember when.
It's at least 2 years old, I believe.
Estimated delivery was October 2013
Oh my God, it's 5 years old.
on the Kickstarter page. Like for depending on the tiers, it's on every single. Oh, some of them said like September 2013, August 2013, November 2013, January 2014 for a couple of them. The latest update was December 21st, and I don't back it. So for all I know, there may be backer only updates. I don't know if those are
Right.
hidden.
Yeah.
But the latest update that I can see here is December 21st, 2017 with pics that were sent from the printer. Hey, look at this chromium cover. It looks baller. And that was 3 months ago. Someone actually commented 2 days ago, exciting news about the Extreme Universe deal with Netflix. Any idea why the $15 reward level hasn't even sent out the surveys yet? Also, any updates in general? So, he doesn't even own the property anymore. Can he legally make this Kickstarter?
Oh no, it's the movie rights.
The rights. Yeah,
Yep,
of course,
yep,
of
just
course.
the movie rights.
I don't know how.
So no one else can make the movies, but Netflix can.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh no.
Damn.
I really. So I
really had my eyes set on that Brigade movie.
I bought comics in the 90s. I was a child and a teenager, and I did own some issues of Youngblood.
Hey man, it was the time.
I'm ashamed.
It was the time.
Like I didn't know any better.
How many times have I praised Ethan Van Sciver for being one of the fucking best artists in the world?
Well, he is, but
now I don't think I would really say that very very much.
Yeah.
These days. So.
Well, he might still be. However, there's a lot of other things he has going on that make you not want to praise him.
Yeah. Remember when I have his art tattooed on my arm? That's great. So, Brigade.
So a 5-year-old Kickstarter.
Yep. Hasn't shipped yet.
Yep. But, what was the total on that?
$35,343.
It's because he's busy making other deals.
And
he's busy collecting money from Deadpool.
lot of money.
In Deadpool 2.
God damn, he must be making...
Like, he has time to not work and maybe focus on, the thing people actually pay him directly for. Right?
Yeah. Yep. But hey, we're going to get some... Are they going to be movies or series?
It says movie rights.
So, just has to deal with one of each, potentially. Maybe sequels. I mean, they're already making a sequel to Bright. And we know how people like that.
Yeah, Bright seems 50-50 to me.
I never saw it.
I didn't see it either, but I felt like it was pretty fairly down the middle. People that liked it compared to didn't like it.
Right.
And it was enough of like a different section of friends that, friends like you trust their opinion.
Yeah.
And people you don't trust.
Oh, they hate everything.
If
they love everything.
If someone said it was good, then it's probably trash. It's
Right. Yep. We all have that.
And then someone who said they hate it, it's like, well, I might want to check it out anyway. So as I was saying, I collected comics at the time that Image was new and popular and amazing.
Yep. No one's gonna follow you for that.
But I didn't recognize some of these names.
I didn't recognize almost any of them.
It's like I know Blood Wolf, which I don't know if he ever had an ongoing series. I know when he appeared in Darker Image, and it was basically a joke on Lobo, even though Lobo's a joke in himself.
Lobo's already like a satirical character.
Exactly. And like that's one of the whole like storyline. That's one of like the things that people point out. It's like you made a satire of a satire. You made the jokey anti-hero of a jokey anti-hero. And
do you think they knew it was a jokey anti-hero?
Oh, right. So much. I'm not going to say all of Image, but a lot of Image is basically stuff they worked on but couldn't do the stuff they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then just did it. Remember when we had Eddie Ency on? Mm-hmm. We talked about Spawn.
Yep.
With his Spider-Man mask and his Venom costume and his web change. And he shoots web chains. I mean chains, not webs. And
when you put it like that.
And Mary Jangela, his redheaded.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, like Spawn went in a direction we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't recognize like what. When I say I don't, it's like there's not like another thing I could point to and be like, oh, it's exactly that.
Right.
Whereas like Blood Wolf, yep, it's exactly Lobo. He's a space mercenary on a motorcycle.
Yep.
And space cycle. But I didn't know Cybrid, and I didn't know Kaboom. And I think the way I keep wanting to say Regex, even though it's supposed to be Regex.
I thought it was Regex.
It might still be. I don't know. I looked at Kaboom, and I don't ever want to see that as a live action thing.
Yeah, I've never seen any of these before. Your computer is facing away from me. I cannot see them. The pictures that I've accumulated in my head are not something that interests me.
I can almost see some crossover work because Brigade and the team Bloodstrike used to feud with each other.
Right.
Because the two leaders are brothers.
What?
And they grew up to hate each other.
Oh my God.
Even though, spoilers, the leader of Bloodstrike died.
What?
But then came back and was killing all the other members, and he solely became Bloodstrike the person.
Oh my.
So who knows if Bloodstrike refers to the one guy or the entire team, and that might be a crossover movie with Brigade.
Do you think...
Which has a Kickstarter that hasn't been shipped yet.
Is there... What's the over-under on the number of costumers that they're going to have to hire to manufacture the patches? Or the pouches? The pouches, excuse me.
Are they going to mass order pouches?
Yeah. And also, like, are they going to put, like, a monopoly on the smoke machine industry to cover up the feet? Is that... These are all very low blows.
Yeah.
They're lowbrow, easy jabs that everyone else takes. But...
it's the kind of thing where I hope, like, if they go to hire a talented actor, that they'll say no to it. You know, it's like
I just want to see Carl Urban as every single one of them.
He might have a new Dread.
He showed up in because I'm making good on my resolution and I saw him in the Thor. He was in Thor.
Yeah,
I like Carl Urban. Mm-hmm. He's okay in everything.
I was hoping for more out of the Executioner though.
Like his character?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is he like a guy in the Thor universe?
He sure is. Have you heard? It's been kind of a joke, but maybe not really a joke. If I could have a teammate, a partner to do it with me, I would do a gender bend cosplay of the Executioner and the Enchantress because they team up a lot.
Okay.
And I would do the Executionist and the Enchanter.
Wait, isn't Enchantress DC?
There's a Marvel Enchantress too.
Oh, okay. I was like, how do they team up so often? Anyways,
she always tries to Zeus Thor, and she has magic powers.
Can you blame her?
She wears green and black a lot, almost like someone else who's magic and green and black in Thor.
I wish I could capture the eye contact that you just made with me. It was beautiful. We're two men alone in a room.
Different from the Enchantress and Suicide Squad.
Good.
Yeah.
That's for the best.
She's really blonde. A lot of hair.
Yeah. Kate Blanchett was so good, is my response to that.
Yeah. Yeah. She was fun.
She really was. Yep.
I was kind of disappointed in Warriors 3, though.
In what? Oh, yeah, right?
I was hoping for more out of them.
Like, there was nothing from them.
One, almost.
One of them got, like, 5 seconds, but, like, in the very... I guess we're talking about Thor Ragnarok for a second. A little bit of spoilers here, so maybe skip ahead 2 minutes. Was that Volstagg that just got knifed?
Yup.
He's gone.
Also Fandral.
See, I don't know much about him. I know Volstagg and
Hogan.
The girl.
Sif.
Yes.
Sif wasn't even in it.
Right? Yeah. Like what the fuck?
She's busy making the tattoo show for TV.
Yeah. But like, didn't they mention it in the movie? Like Sif's on a mission. I can't remember. Either way, but like when it happened, it was like in Batman Superman. It's like, was that Jimmy Olsen? And I was like, was that Volstagg? Are you serious?
Yep.
Just offed.
Just took seconds to take him down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things of like, oh, we have to show how powerful someone is. It's like, no, you could do it at a better way.
Yeah, you know, like Jesus. Anyways,
they've had their own book.
He was in the comics. He was just a Thor. He was the War Thor.
Yeah,
and it was badass.
Maybe he'll come back.
And then, right now, the main antagonist in the Thor book is I don't know his name because he's new to me, but it's the dude who's built off of the vengeance of a billion souls or whatever.
Oh,
you don't see. I'm new to Thor, but I love it. He's like this insane hyper demon guy who, like, Odin blew up this planet, universe, whatever, millennia ago, and all of the rage channeled within all the people that died formed this one being, and he just kills everything.
Okay.
Mangog, is that what it's called? Because I think it's Mangog, right? Mangog. It is. Yeah, it is. Yep. And right now he's like in the current Thor comic book, he's fucking everything up. It's great.
Were you disappointed by the secret Nick Fury said?
Yes.
I was too.
I didn't really get it, mostly because I'm stupid.
There's history to that, I guess. Because like it appeared on a website, on a news comic book site, and I looked at it, and then it's like, oh, that refers to this thing that happened, a couple years ago.
It was lost on me.
And I was like, oh, I was hoping for something else. Did that resolve? Did anything happen from that? Or was it just, that's how he lost his hammer?
Yeah, that's kind of it. Like right now, I mean, the Thor book is great, and from what I hear, it's coming to an end soon. But like Jane Foster is like practically dead. And it's like, if you turn into Thor one more time, like Stephen Strange shows up, he's like, if you turn into Thor one more time, if you aren't Thor anymore, you're gonna die. That's gonna be it. You've killed your chemo enough. But Mangog is depicted as being the sum total of the hatred of a billion beings, of a mysterious alien race whose invasion of Asgard had been thwarted by Odin.
So it's their own fault for invading Asgard.
He's this enormous, weird-looking guy with giant teeth, and he's killing everything. It's insane in the book. Like, Volstag's like, I'm the War Thor. I just killed everything. And then this guy shows up and like destroys his hammer. So like, yeah. Anyways, Netflix, Brigade.
I'm hoping they.
Who do you want to see in the Brigade movie?
God. Who do I hate?
How many of these movies will feature cameos by Rob Liefeld? All of them.
Oh, is he gonna Stanley them?
Well, like in Deadpool, his name showed up.
He was in Deadpool.
I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Because then his name was on the coffee cup in the beginning.
When Wade first walks into the bar,
Mm.
and like there's people sitting at the bar, and he goes Liefeld.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's just sitting there chilling.
It sucks how much I really enjoyed Deadpool, the movie.
No, it's okay. A lot of people did.
Like, and I'm pumped for the second one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck. Because I don't like him in comics. I don't like him at conventions. But they did the movie well,
Mm-hmm.
which wasn't a movie that I expected to do well or to be well. I don't know.
Netflix has been doing a decent job of taking, like comic book things and making them seem somewhat realistic.
Yeah.
And like movies in general, it's like, how are they going to translate like the bright red, white, and blue Captain America suit? And they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's like, how they, how many times are they going to give us Wolverine but not in the yellow span? Well, I buy that too. But the things that Liefeld has drawn, there's no way to tone that down. There's no way to make that real.
Yeah. It's like just looking at Brigade characters. I'm still on the Brigade Kickstarter, and it's just like the characters there, and I'm trying to like, could you imagine any of these people in a real world with shoulder pads that literally go higher than your head? Because that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at like a ninja guy. I think he has a sword,
like a stick or something.
Yep. And his shoulder pads are in line with the top of his head almost.
Now, while we're talking about this reality concept of taking that and transferring it, there have been stills coming out right now from Shazam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Is Dwayne Johnson in that?
I don't know.
Was he cast as Black Adam? Anyways,
it was claimed that like Black Adam was going to have his own movie.
Right. Anyways, but yeah, there was the images that I think Johnson it of Shazam.
Yeah, the guy from Chuck.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never seen Chuck, but like it's a bright red suit, and he's got big muscles. It looks like a muscle suit, and it's not actually the guy. But I mean, who on earth can get that big? If you're just a regular actor person and not already a weightlifter or whatever. But that's transferred well, because that's what you want Shazam Captain Marvel to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it. It's like, I want him in a bright costume. I want his white half cape thing. I want his lightning bolt on his chest. Whereas like when they make Superman, it's like, let's mute this down a bit.
Yeah.
He can't be bright blue.
You need to make it realistic.
But they still put that weird texture on the suit. I'm not a fan of all the texturing.
Yeah.
Remember like when Amazing Spider-Man looked like a basketball?
Yep.
It's
yep.
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
I knew exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep. It's like Bumbleflex from Parks and Rec. It was like the clothing that Chris Traeger wore. I have Bumbleflex. It's like made from
Look like honeycombs. Yeah.
And like Leslie runs out because she's not supposed to be at work. She got suspended.
Yeah.
I have Bumbleflex.
But I just so really want to see, and it gets worse too, because it says that the films will be overseen by Akiva Goldsman. You're not going to recall the name.
No, I don't.
But he's worked on other things in the past, like the Transformers franchise in the Hasbro Cinematic Universe.
The Hasbro. I've never heard it referred to as that. The Hasbro Cinematic Universe. Does that include G.I. Joe?
Maybe.
Or is it just Transformers?
Oh. That might include
the
G.I. Joe.
Hasbro. When are we going to get the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover?
Movie?
Yeah. Do we need that?
We might. He's famous for writing Batman and Robin, the movie, and co-wrote Batman Forever. So,
see, I don't see anything wrong with this. Because I am one of those people who is of the opinion that I love Batman Forever. Batman and Robin, when I was a kid, I thought it was great.
You can thank him for Mr. Freeze's lines.
Chill.
The Ice Age. Yeah, that's him.
Rubber lips are immune to his charms.
Also, by the way, the Transformers franchise.
Which, again,
I fell asleep during one time.
I saw the first 3, and I liked all 3 of them, and then I kind of stopped. I was good after that.
So I liked Cloverfield.
Yep.
I don't mind that camera work.
The chaotic, you can't see what's going on.
I'm okay with that.
Yep.
Because there was a reason to it. I understood the purpose. But when I watch Transformers and get dizzy because the camera can't stand still, I mean, that's not this guy's fault. That's what's his name's fault?
Bay.
Explosion guy. Like, if you get a chance to see giant robots fighting, do you want to see them fighting? I do.
How close do you want to be, though?
Do I want to see a bunch of gears moving? No. Just show me the robots fighting. Do I want to see them like spinning really fast or?
Yeah.
I didn't like the Transformers movies.
That's a shame.
I don't get to see what's happening. They were working. So Goldman and Liefeld have like some history because they were working together as of like a couple years ago, last year, to adapt their Evangeline property at Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
But that fell through. Or they're still working on it. They're figuring it out. Evangeline, also terrible. It's in the pages of like showing you all the things wrong with Liefeld art.
Right.
She's one of the examples for an impossible body type. Like just the anatomy alone is horrible.
Right. As you'd expect, I guess.
Yeah. So there's a lot to be said, just by who he's working with, who's going to be developing the properties now. Not much promise there. I've said in the past, if you show someone Batman and Robin and tell them this is a parody, if you look at it from the point of view that it is a parody and is not actually a Batman movie, then it's good. It's pretty good. Because you're like, none of this is serious. This is all, the entire thing's a joke. I get it.
I believe Batman and Robin was the first Batman movie I ever saw.
Oh.
I think. Because when did Batman and Robin come out?
I don't know.
90-something?
It's not on my notes here.
How do you not have that prepared for me? Batman and Robin was 1997, which means I was 11. Mm-hmm. So like 11-year-old me watches that kind of stuff. I'm gonna eat it up. Arnold Schwarzenegger is
yeah, you're a child.
in
it's okay.
Bane. He's awesome. Everyone loves Bane. He has the Venom thing.
That was the worst Bane.
See, I'd seen Bane.
He stands there and flexes and grunts.
I never saw Bane. And then he can't punch through a reinforced steel wall, apparently.
Which Bane would you rather have? The one from
Batman and Robin or Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah.
Neither.
That was one from the cartoons.
But and then Batman Forever I have a soft spot for, just because the stunt show and all that stuff, and I dig that movie.
Kiss from a Rose is on a playlist in my car.
Yep.
Yeah. I can hope that maybe the Extreme properties will be made like as much of a parody as Batman and Robin and Batman Forever were.
Right.
As ridiculous as that. If they were developed at that level, okay. Yeah. If they try to take themselves seriously like Transformers,
if the Extreme Universe movies are able to win 2 Blockbuster Entertainment Awards or more, they will be on par with Batman and Robin. Because Batman and Robin won 2 Blockbuster Entertainment Awards for Favorite Actress for Uma Thurman and Favorite Supporting Actor for Chris O'Donnell. Apparently 1997 was a very slow year for movies. They also won the Kids' Choice Award for Favorite Movie Actress for Alicia Silverstone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she won. She won it.
So, to stay stuck on Netflix a little bit longer, I felt they made a really good move last year when they bought Miller World.
Right.
A lot of people pronounce it Mark Millar.
Millar.
I don't know.
There's an A at the end.
Yeah. Which there's a lot of promise there, because Miller still writes ridiculous stuff, but in a realistic way.
Yep.
Like the art that he actually teams up with people who can actually make art and draw things, and there's stories that happen. Like, I'm going to read a Miller book for the story.
Yep.
The art's going to look great. I like when he's with Linnell Yu and whoever else.
John Romita Jr. was with Kick-Ass.
Classic.
He does a lot with Steve McNiven.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh, would that be one of them? Are we gonna get Nemesis? No, that wasn't him.
I thought Nemesis was bought. I thought the rights were bought to Nemesis.
It wasn't Miller, was it? It was someone else, wasn't it?
Nemesis Mark Miller.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Now I have to look it up.
I'm sorry. Welcome to our podcast, everybody.
Yeah, where we look shit up.
We know what we're talking about.
Nemesis was Mark Miller. Okay. Yes. And I was like, yo, I got issue 1 graded 9.6 because I'm a fucking idiot.
But like, one of you just flinched. One of Brett's favorite like things to point out when people promote Liefeld's, and they say, well, Liefeld's doing good work. He's good at whatever. And one of Brett's comments is that like, so you like his art or whatever because they invade a base, yada yada yada. But tell me a storyline or a plot point that you actually enjoyed that you can think of.
Right.
Can you ever think out what a plot of any of his books are?
No.
Whereas like
I've read one Liefeld book.
Like before we started, we commented on like 3 moments from Super Crooks alone.
From one book, yeah. Which was Super Crooks was 4 or 6 issues.
4 issues.
4 issues?
4 issues. And even that's like, 10 years old maybe by now?
Super Crooks? No.
8 years old?
Yeah, probably closer to like 6 to 8.
Yeah.
But like, even, like, I could tell you, which is rare for me because I tend to forget a lot. I could tell you like a lot of the opening scenes, stuff in the middle, and I could tell you the ending. Which also the ending was like, holy shit, that was different, Whereas I read the one Rob Liefeld book that I can recall. I don't think I read anything else. I don't think I have, but I read The Infinite. Remember The Infinite?
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman. And it got
even with Kirkman writing it.
Yeah, with Kirkman writing it, halted after 4 issues. I cannot remember a single thing that happened in that book. I can't remember.
And so it's like, what are they gonna make? What story could they possibly,
Time travel and laser guns with swords.
But at least like there's proven properties with Miller,
right? And it's already shown that his stuff can be made into features.
Which it was mentioned that like Kick-Ass and Kingsman were not part of the deal,
right?
But Netflix like basically bought Miller World.
Yep.
Like his publishing imprint.
Jupiter Rising? Is that what the original one is called? Jupiter's Rising, or is it Jupiter's Ascension? I can't remember what it was called. That was a big story or a big series. A lot of people.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Jupiter's Children is one of them, and he had
Frank Quietly on the art, another good artist.
There's 2 Jupiter's books, and I liked both of them. And I would love to see a Jupiter's show. That would be awesome. Just he has a really good way of like telling a story. I like his work. I'm one of his fans.
He also did Civil War. Like, for Marvel.
Yeah. Was it him?
That was Mark Miller. Now I'm Googling it.
There's so many like rotating door of artists and writers that I keep like missing who was who.
That was Mark Miller and Steve McNiven.
I read a thing. I don't think it was McNiven. There was an article, like an interview, where Miller was saying like he was working so hard on doing Civil War that like he went to the hospital. Like he got sick because he was, trying to write the book and then like, direct some of the spin-offs and everything. And at other times in his career, he can work on multiple books at the same time. And he's like, yeah, well, most people like say like, oh, when you get on an event book, like it's a big payday. He's like, I could only focus on this event book, and I actually like lost money because I wasn't doing a number of things like I usually do. Which somehow Bendis can do 100 things and events.
Jupiter's Legacy and Jupiter's Circle, by the way. That's what they were called.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was stupid. Rising. What did I call? Oh, that was a movie, Jupiter's Rising.
But I feel, and with Netflix purchasing Miller World, that like now they are also like, have a stake in the comics that are published as Miller World.
Right.
Which is said, the next one is, it's Mother Link. The Magic Order. How many tabs does Lux have up right now? The Magic Order is the first like Netflix Miller like co-promoted title, which could be a book but also get made into a series or a movie. because they're going to be working on like franchise properties together now.
Another Mark Miller book that I always forget is my Mark Miller.
Yeah.
Old Man Logan.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm reading a review of Nemesis. Not a review, but I'm on like the Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Greg McElhitton, MCEL McElhitton, I don't know, of Comic Resources gave the first issue a 1 out of 5. Feels stale from start to finish. I'm like, yo, first issue was dope.
It was.
Anyways.
It was worth getting graded.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
The amount that it was bought for wasn't disclosed for Miller.
Right.
But the term 7 figures was made for.
Probably a lot.
For him. I would hope. Oh my god! I hope Miller got more than Liefeld did.
In a fair world.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you that joke off air.
Because getting to point at Kingsman and Kick-Ass and saying like
they each had sequels.
I made these, and this is how much money they made.
Right.
Whereas Miller actually made those, beginning to end. He was the creative like driving force.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for Liefeld, when he says, "Oh, I created Deadpool," he kind of like drew this thing, and then it's been through 10 people's hands to get to where it is now.
Right.
So like he drew the first picture and had an idea for it, and then Nick Zia co-created it. But
it says it on his banner.
From that point on, the 90s, he was popular to start, but like he could have died just like Gideon did. Gideon's first appearance was the same issue as Deadpool.
Right.
Does anyone care when Gideon's first appearance?
I don't know who that is.
Don't even know who. He's the guy with the green ponytail.
Okay.
Yeah,
I believe you.
Metal arms too, by the way. Metal arms for some reason. But Deadpool has, as a character, has passed through so many other creators who have in turn made him interesting and made him a property worth turning into a movie.
Brian Posehn wrote him for a while, right? I believe.
Chris Hastings wrote him for a while.
Yes, yeah, yep.
Chris Hastings, who's been on an episode of Opinions May Vary.
No, it's not a big deal. It's not that big of a deal, but
cool
we did have Chris Hastings on.
Yeah.
Of Dr. Ninja fame.
Mm-hmm. But the character that Rob created and the character that Deadpool is now, they're not the same character. They're not really. He's gone through a lot.
Yeah,
and so,
I don't.
And trying to like put a price tag on that you created it, it's not valid. It's not.
Tell that to his bank account. More money than God off of drawing one character who was. Anyways.
So with all these talks of Netflix, there's also talk of like, well, what are they going to do when Disney starts their streaming service?
Right.
And I was like, what is going to happen? And so I started looking that up too. There's a lot more to that. Apparently, it was Disney, Fox, and Comcast each own 30% of Hulu, which I didn't know.
Nope.
So that was interesting to me, which means if Disney finishes buying Fox, like goes through with that plan, they'll own 60% of Hulu. And why wouldn't Disney just make Hulu their streaming service and push that through? And then I was like, so that means they would get all the Marvel movie properties. So Netflix couldn't show like Civil War anymore, or couldn't show Winter Soldier, whatever they have shown in the past. Then I was like, what does that mean for the TV shows? Because like Netflix produced the Daredevil series, the Defenders, Jessica Jones, all those. Would they get to keep those? Because like they made those. Like that was a co-ownership between Marvel and them kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, well, I don't want to buy a Disney streaming service. But
I would have Netflix.
But if they had all the movies and they had Runaways, well, I want to watch Runaways at some point, but I don't have Hulu. And if they also get Cloak and Dagger from Amazon, well, I want to watch Cloak and Dagger at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how many other things would transfer? Because they would need a lot to get me to give them any money. I don't want it. That's why we don't use cable anymore. That's why so many people don't have cable. You know? It's like you got to buy your main thing, and then you got to pay extra for HBO, and then pay extra for Showtime. And
I haven't had cable. Like I have not paid for cable since 2000. 10, I believe, when I moved out of my first apartment because we had cable there.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to live with my parents for a little while. They had cable, but I wasn't paying for it
Mm-hmm.
because I lived with my parents, mooching. But like every place I've lived, I have my PlayStation. I'll watch Netflix.
Yep.
I'll watch Twitch. I'll watch people play video games. I have no use for cable at all.
I don't want to pay for individual channels. It's just
Nope.
It should be an old relic of a thing.
Yeah.
But everyone wants to make their own money. Anyway.
We'll see. We'll see. I would say I'm excited to see how it turns out. I'm a good old standby, but I'm not because I don't really care to watch any of it.
As much as we want to promote new stuff, there's just some things that it's rare that I want something to fail.
Look, we said
is
a lot
one
of
of
nice stuff about Rob Liefeld in the past like year and a half or so. So
It's time to come back around.
we're due.
There is an episode.
Hey,
where
I gotta embrace the hustle. Homeboy's making money off of his properties.
there was the time I mentioned in person at a convention. He was fun to watch. He looks like he's good to his fans.
Yeah, which is a lot more than you can say about other people.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
So give him, and let's, maybe he wants to make these properties for the fans. Who knows? Maybe that's his main goal. The money doesn't matter. Who needs the money when you're making the fans happy, right? Right?
Yeah,
Right?
I guess. I kind of want to hear it from an old timer. What is someone who's like been in the industry a long time?
It's
have
almost
to
as
say
if you
about
have
it?
something queued up that I happened to stumble upon.
How did you find that, by the way?
It was from Max Temkin from Cards Against Humanity posted on Twitter saying, "Hey, because everyone has that one video that they show to someone, like,
Okay.
hey, I want to show you this one funny thing.
Yeah.
It's really quick. You're gonna laugh at it."
Okay.
He's like, "What's the one video that you show to everyone?" And he's like, "It has to be under 90 seconds long. It has to be like, it can't be like, produced. It can't be like a comedy sketch."
Right.
I commented with Harry the Hoover smoking or snorting the huge line of coke and then falling over. Hilarious video. He retweeted it. It's not a big deal. I was just going through the responses, and someone posted this video called Stanley Owns, and it's just a 3-minute video of Stanley critiquing Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane drawing a character like off the top of their head. I don't know, what is it from a series? Like,
yeah. I don't know where it originally aired or came from,
because this one is like clipped.
It's clips. Yeah. Comic book greats. If you look up YouTube, and put in comic book greats. It's Stanley talking to a bunch of other creators at the time, like really young or
Right.
starting out. And I watched a couple of them. From this clip, it seems like this is the point where like they leave Marvel to go do Image,
Right.
because they're making Overkill an Image character. And they kind of address like what they've done to the industry and what they're trying to do for the future. But they look so young. They sound so upbeat.
Even Stan is very
Stand still, yeah.
very
He's-
upbeat.
What's he at now? He's like 95 now.
Yeah.
So he had to be maybe 60 at that point.
Something like that.
Yeah. Something. But
We're gonna take a listen. We're gonna listen to Stanley Owens. You can find this video on YouTube. You can see exactly what they're drawing and what he's critiquing. But it's just it's just a 3-minute clip of Stanley just having some things to say about Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld's drawing.
it looks like it's pulled out of a full like 26 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's trimmed down to about 3. So you're gonna hear a lot of like cuts and sections.
It's
but
a silly video of because they're drawing Overkill and trying to explain their process, and Stan
it's questioning it.
has some questions about it. So we're gonna have a listen to this for the next couple minutes.
We'll try to explain our thinking on how we're coming across and why we're doing Overkill the way it
You can
is.
think and draw at the
Hey,
same time?
Yeah, and especially if it's going to be Overkill, his equipment's got to be Overkill as well.
Oh, heck yeah.
Always
Okay,
remember,
Alrighty.
he's tough, but he's not
Okay,
violent.
along those lines, he's got the biggest shoulder pads ever existed. It's like
I
this-
figured he would.
this chest.
Okay, I'm going to give him some big knee pads here, because a guy like him that's got some armor and got some guns and
Has to
stuff
have
like
knee
that
pads.
is going to.
Boy, he looks grim, doesn't he?
Kids, you know, I mean, the kids like the dark, moody stuff. I mean,
They seem
you know,
to.
I mean, you're.
But I have a question I've been wanting to ask you guys. How long does it take these people to get dressed, these kind of characters?
Who says
that
they
you draw?
undress?
I mean, there's something they have to get out quickly to save the world, but it takes them an hour and a half to get into all of this stuff
That's
if they
right.
work fast.
That's right. Getting into the costume is like going to the bathroom in comic books. You never show it, but you assume that Superman and Batman and Spider-Man actually do go and urinate every now and then,
You're
right?
right, but you never do show it, do you?
No.
But you do show, very often you show people getting dressed, especially women. I seem to recall that now. and
Yeah,
then.
no. Okay,
You draw
listen.
hands? Are you into hands?
Oh,
really?
yeah, I'm the best.
You do hands?
But why don't we give them here wires coming out here, coming
Oh,
down up?
they
the
love
kids,
that
the kids
stuff.
love wires.
The wires
yeah,
that
they
he'll
do.
trip
Why
over
don't
when
we-
he's
why-
running.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hey, you
So-
draw good wires.
Oh.
Does he have a double identity? Is he really a
no,
meek
who,
accountant in real life?
who else could he be besides Overkill?
Well, I mean, when he takes off all these clothes, is he a
I don't,
97
do
pound
you see
weakling?
him taking rough fist? Okay.
Okay.
At his thumb, he would have 3 different cannons
Different,
that are
okay.
facing you for the large kapui. So right here, they could be like missile launchers or whatever, but he's gonna have those right over here.
What
I mean,
makes
this
you
guy's
make those
alive, too.
value judgments? Why only 3? He's got 4 knuckles.
'Cause-
the reader's
And then
crazy.
this-
Why does he have more on that side than that side?
No.
For the sake of our unseen viewers, is this really the type of thought process that you guys go through when you
Yes.
create characters?
Except for we have more than 20 minutes.
This is probably longer than you usually
We
take.
do.
Well, I think I've got to say seriously, which isn't easy for me to do, but I think it's very impressive that in a matter of 20 minutes you guys could come up with something like this. I mean, bad as it is, it's still impressive that you were able to do it this quickly.
Well,
Yeah, that's a cool logo. That
Rob,
is really
didn't you
cool.
promise that you would draw and we would do the talking? And when you
sorry, I'm
grow up a
sorry.
little more, you know, we'll
Okay,
let you in there
alright,
with the grown-ups.
Well, when you were creating characters, Stan, what was the process back then? I mean, because Rob and I right now, we do our own writing and our own drawing. We don't collaborate with anybody anymore. So
That's the problem, and I've been meaning to talk to you guys about that. Boy, he is one grim-looking guy. There's no way this man can move. He's got to have a power to defy gravity, I would say, just looking at
He's
him.
a tank. I mean, what do you think? I mean,
Now, the funniest thing would be if you say that these are jets and he's the fastest man alive. That and the way you have him, we've got to justify all of this paraphernalia somehow.
okay,
I don't know that you're really doing my character right. That's all right, I guess, for a bunch of
Stan.
beginners.
Overkill
I
him.
just want you to, we have a minute
Oh,
and a
with
half
the
or so.
foot.
I want to tighten those feet.
okay.
All right, guys?
Okay, give him an ankle bone here, an ankle bone here.
I think it takes you longer to sign your name than
heck
draw
yeah.
a picture. You know?
It is. I'm gonna step out, okay?
Incidentally, you guys have ruined us. We've decided to give up comics and we're going into showbiz.
Just brilliant.
Wow.
Really brilliant stuff. Some nice subtle burns. Some nice not so subtle burns.
Those backhanded compliments.
Yep. Classic Stan. Vintage
You
Stan.
could tell he was doing this with some purpose too, which he didn't hold back. I can't imagine that's what it's like every day. I mean, if it is, that's a harsh work environment.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, they took it in stride too.
Oh yeah, they just ate it.
They ate it up, and they're like, we're about to make a shitload of money off of this new stuff. So you can say whatever you want. People are gonna gobble it up.
Which, I mean, at the time, I believe Rob Liefeld was 23 years old.
Which is crazy. Like,
Am I going to start my own company at 23?
nope. Am I? No, I'm not gonna do that. Was I creating anything at 23? No.
Not that I was getting paid for.
Nope. No, I was not. Props,
Yeah.
props where props are due.
Overkill. Like if this is where Overkill came from, and then he appeared in Spawn books, which you never, aside from like his first appearance, you never saw a full image of Overkill.
Yeah,
Like just sections of him in a panel, almost like watching a Transformers movie.
perfect.
And by the way, his name was changed to Overt Kill because they couldn't get the name. Someone else had it. It was actually Guardians of the Galaxy character. It was the Guardians of the character.
It's my favorite kind.
That a character changed his name to Overkill. Might sound familiar. His name was Taserface.
Taserface
Yeah,
from Guardians 2.
yeah. That's what prevented the Spawn enemy from being Overkill and had to be Overt Kill instead.
Overt kill.
Yeah.
There's a T in there.
with guns on his hands and chains on his waist for some reason and giant shoulder
Why not? You know?
armor things.
Just living the dream. That overt kill.
But it's a kind of a dated video. You know, at least 20
It's
years
older.
old.
Yeah. Yeah. You can tell even just by the clothing.
Yeah.
They're youngins.
And it still weirds me out how Todd McFarlane's upper lip doesn't move.
Never. It's just how he talks, man.
I noticed it when he did Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick.
Right. I don't think I saw that.
Yeah. But it still looks like a neat series to watch.
Mm-hmm.
To see them, like, you know, how comics got made pre-bankruptcy.
True. Yeah.
At its boom, at its height and popularity. So, could still check that out. The entire thing would be fun to watch.
Check out all the Extreme Universe coming to Netflix near you. Yeah. Can't wait.
I can.
Yeah.
Can we? Hopefully there's like as much of a delay on making these as there was on his Kickstarter.
Oh. 4 years later, still nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, you got paid though. Money talks or whatever. I don't know.
You could probably demand that back if it doesn't come out yet.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Can you issue your charge back on a 4-year-old purchase? There's donations. It's different that way.
yeah, there's probably some sort of guard.
I haven't looked up the Kickstarter.
Who
rules
knows?
yet.
Neither of us have ever launched a Kickstarter, so we'll have to go to people who have. If only we knew anyone who has run a successful
We know a
Kickstarter.
couple.
It's true. Yeah, and we have new friends that actually just had a successful one.
Mm-hmm.
Successful within like a day, and now they have like 30 days left.
Yeah.
So it should be neat. And then I'm going to see them at PAX. It's going to be great.
I'm jealous.
You should be. It is what it is.
What else you got?
I mean, we're out of time.
That time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to talk. I'll just tell you off air.
Okay.
I'm into a new streamer. He's kind of neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess that's going to do it for this week. Go and read some comics, I guess. Buy some comic books. Saga
Eventually-
started up again.
Buy the originals now before they come out on Netflix.
It's true, and then you can sell them.
I mean the Miller World stuff, not no.
See, I see
no.
what you did there.
Yeah.
You're a tricky little minx.
Get your original Wanted, not the movie Wanted, different one. Those are different.
Chris Pratt was in Wanted.
He was?
Mm-hmm.
Who was he? Was he one of the some?
He had lines. Yeah. I think you'll eventually get it. But Chris Pratt wasn't. He appeared in the beginning of the movie. He appeared in the end of the movie.
Huh.
Yeah.
He wasn't the dad, was he?
No.
No. He could have been the dad.
He was the. Are you
Was he in
there?
the office? Was he the
Yep.
office guy?
Mm-hmm. Who was like banging his girlfriend,
That was him.
and he smashes him with the keyboard.
Yeah.
That's Chris Pratt.
No way.
And at the very end, when he makes that crazy shot, it goes like through his soda or whatever.
Huh.
That's Chris Pratt. Now I
Never-
have to Google it to be sure.
I never would have guessed that.
But
It makes sense. He was kind of chunky.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's one of those like randomly like,
He looked like a bro dude.
where did this happen? Yeah, in a suit that like didn't quite fit him. Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. That was Chris Pratt.
So Star-Lord wasn't wanted.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Okay.
It all comes full circle. All right. I guess we're done. Go watch. I'm gonna go listen to Stanley trash some people some more. Until next time, I have been JR,
I'm Alex.
and this has been episode 312, the quickest ending in the history of the show. Like we just went right into it. Bam, ending. Of Opinions May Vary. It's done. I don't even care. It's done. I haven't. No, we're still going. It's like I'm uncomfortable to stop it that quickly. It's like, did we mess it up?
We didn't explain to
But-
our guests how to end the episode.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah. Well, I guess we're done.